Hi guys, welcome to CCP. This is a Mega Mewtwo deck list. So you play the 3 Mewtwo EX. Now you play these mainly to get the Mega out, but also because the Shatter Shot move is quite good. That's why you play this version of the card, because there are a lot of versions of the Mewtwo EX card in Standard. The Shatter Shot, for one Psychic energy, does 30, but for each other energy that's Psychic, it does 30 more. So you can do quite a bit with that, but your main aim is to get the Mega on it, which does 10 base damage and 30 more damage for each person's Pokemon they're active. So that does 30. So if you had a double colourless on this Pokemon and they had, let's say, 3 energy on their Pokemon, that'd be about 160 damage. That's enough to pretty much take out an EX. It's quite a good card. It does well against decks like Yveltal and Greninja. It struggles against less energy reliant decks like Wailord. It's a good deck. So then you can play Hooper. You only play one Hooper, as you only really need it once, and that's mainly to search out for the Mega, the Mewtwo, or some of the other cards that are coming up in the list. Once it's on the bench, it's kind of useless. It's just there to kind of get life standard, so it has some negatives, but overall it's quite reliant on the deck. Then next you play 2 Shaman EXs. Now these are, well, you use them in pretty much every top deck for the setup ability, where when you play it onto the bench, you can draw up to 6 cards in your hand. You can use Sky Return for a double colourless to return it and every card attached to your hand, but it's not really, you don't really want to be doing that in games unless you're stuck, but it can be useful at certain times. You can substitute the Shamans for a budget of Talonflame. Now Talonflame, it's only useful if you get it on your setup, for its ability allows you to play it down, although it is a stage 2, and you mainly use it for the Aero Blitz move, where for 1 energy you can search for up to any 2 cards in your deck. But what's also really good about the Aero Blitz is, unlike for example an Ultra Ball search or things like that, you don't have to reveal the card you search for, so they don't know what your strategy is. But they're the budget version. They're not too much money. They're a bit money for the rarity of the card, but they're not really that expensive, unlike Shamans, which are about £40 each. So then next you want to play 2 Garbodor and 2 Trubbish. Now the Garbodor is really good, as when it has an item attached to it, no one can use abilities but this Pokemon. So you'd equip a Float Stone for free retreat if it gets life standard out, and it means no one can use abilities, so it shuts down decks like Volcanion, Greninja. It can do, or it just puts people in a lot of tricky positions against the right matchup. And if you don't get a matchup, these abilities, you just don't play it, you can use it for a discard of an Ultra Ball or something. So that is quite a useful card in this deck. So next you play 2 Zora and the 2 Zoroark. Now this is kind of your backup attacker in case you can't get the Mega Mewtwo out for some reason, or the off chance that all 3 are prized, which is very unlikely. This requires 1 double colourless, again like the Mega Mewtwo, and its ability stand-in is once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is on the bench, you can switch it in for your active, which is good because its Mind Jack does 30 damage for each of your opponent's bench Pokemon plus 10. So if you're against like a Mega Ray, where they've got 8 bench Pokemon because they've got Skyfield, you're doing 30 for each of those plus the 10. That's going to do a lot of damage, and if you do knock a Pokemon out like with it, and they, let's say, bought in the Mega Rayquaza fully set up and knock this out, they'd only be taking 1 prize because it's not an EX. So it's quite a good backup attacker, and if they do take it out, then they don't get a lot of prize for it, which is quite useful. Now moving on to the support cards, you play 3 Sycamore, which Sycamore is used in pretty much every deck. It's not an expensive card unless you go for the full arts, but it's it's useful in any deck. You discard your hand, draw 7, so it's really good if you've got like no cards in your hand or just 1. Then you'd play one Skylar. Now that's just in case you really need a trainer, you're stuck, and you just can search for any trainer in your deck, which is quite useful. The only downside is it is your supporter, so if you're needing to search for another supporter, then you won't be able to use that supporter this turn. Then you play 2 Lysander, which is a very useful card in any deck. It's good for if your opponent has a bench Shaman or Hooper or something that you can knock out really easily due to low HP, or if they have a high retreat class Pokemon that you can use to stall for in game time, so it's quite useful. Then you play 2 N. N's quite a good late game, because if your opponent has maybe 1 or 2 prizes left and you have a few, you can use N, shuffle, both players shuffle their hand, and you draw the amount of prize cards you have left, so you can leave them with a few cards. So like, what I've done in a few games is I've used N to lower the hand, so they've had like 1 prize left, so there's 1 card in the hand left, so they're stuck, they've not got a lot of options, and I've refreshed to a bigger hand. You play 1 Ranger. Now, you don't need more than 1, it's kind of there just for certain matchups. It's kind of a circumstance card, where if you're up against like a deck with a Jolteon in, then it just get rid of its effect. It's quite useless against most decks, but if you don't run it and you did come up against a matchup where you needed it, you'd be stuck and you wouldn't have a way around it. So it's necessary. Then you play 3 VS Seekers. Now VS Seeker's good because it's an item and it allows you to put any supporter in your discard to your hand. So even if you run, let's say you run the 2 Lysander, if you have 3 VS Seekers, you could essentially think of it as you're running 5, because you can just bring them from discard and play them again. So it's good for recycling supporters. If you didn't run these, if you use your Lysanders, you have no way of getting them back. But if you run these, you don't have to worry too much about what supporters you use, because you know you can get them back at some point in the game. And then moving on to Trainer's Mail. Now Trainer's Mail is really good, as it allows you to look at the top 4 cards of your deck, reveal them, and you pick a trainer. Now you can't pick Trainer's Mail from Trainer's Mail, but you can pick anything else as a trainer, so it's quite good if you're playing a deck that runs like Max Elixir, and you need that, or you can go for an Ultra Ball to search for a Pokemon you need desperately, or just it's good if you really need a trainer, and it just allows you to kind of boost getting it. Next you'd play Ultra Ball. Now you'd play 4 Ultra Ball. Ultra Ball's standard in any deck, as it allows you to search for any Pokemon. Doesn't specify on a basic or an EX. You can search for any Pokemon you want and put it into your hand. You have to discard 2 cards to use it, but it's good if you have stuff that you don't need in your hands that's just clogging it. You can get rid of them and search for something you need, which is quite good. So if you have like 3 cards in your hand, you play the Ultra Ball, you discard the other 2, you can go for the Shaman, which allows you to have a fresh hand, so it's quite good, things like that. Now the Mega Turbo is quite good, as it allows you to attach an energy from discard to one of your Mega Pokemon, which would be the Mega Mewtwo. So if you're in late game and you need like 2 energy to knock out a Pokemon, and it's like either they're going to win or you're going to win, you would do your attachment, and if you drew this, it could win you the game. I've had it against me where I've been in a tournament and this has lost me. I've lost to this card on its own. It's really good because you can only attach 1 energy per turn, so this allows you to do more than 1 attachment, which can be quite useful. Then obviously you'd play the Spirit Links for the Mega Mewtwo, as if you Mega Evolve without one of these, you skip your turn, which isn't ideal. Sometimes you may have to do that, but it's ideal you put this on first so you don't skip your turn. Next you play Floatstones. As I said earlier, these are for the Garbodor, so that you can use his ability. You could use them on other Pokemon, but they're not really necessary, because you don't really want to switch out from Mega Mewtwo unless you bring in the Zoroark. Next we've got Shine of Memories, which is a really good card, as you play as your stadium and you can use the attacks of your normal EX. So if you have your Mega Mewtwo out and you're using Psychic Infinity, then you play that. You can also use the Damage Change or the Shatter Shot. So if you have free energy on that, you can keep hitting with Psychic Infinity, and if they don't do enough to knock you out, you can just switch the damage with Damage Change to them. So it makes you pretty much, they need to do 210 damage to you, which is a large requirement for a lot of decks. So it can be really good. Now next you can play Parallel. Now with this one you can either play it this way or you can play it this way, and each side has an effect. The red side allows, the way it's facing, that person does 20 less damage before weakness and resistance with grass, fire and water. And if you do it the other way, that person can only play 3 bench Pokemon. So this is really good against Mega Rayquaza decks, decks that require a large bench space to set up, and it can really limit what people play. If they have more than 3 Pokemon on their bench, they'll have to discard those Pokemon to go down to 3, although you won't get prize cards for that, as it's a discard, not a knockout. You'd play 2 of those, as it's quite a useful card. Next, you play an Enhanced Hammer. Now you can play more than one of these, it's up to personal preference, but this is a really good card as it allows you to discard a special energy attached to one of your opponent's Pokemon. So if they have a double colourless on their Pokemon, it would knock that off. And there's no, with this card it's not like you have to flip a coin or anything, you can just do it, which is quite useful. You can also play Crushing Hammers, which are pretty much the same apart from it's a regular energy, not a special energy, which are also good. Next you play Special Charge. Now this is to get, because you require double colour, so you rely on it quite a lot. This allows you to shuffle 2 special energy into your from your discard to your deck. That's really good because if you have 2 double colours in the discard from like 2 Mega Mewtwo's that are knocked out, you can shuffle them back in, which is quite good. Then you play a Super Rod to shuffle in just basic Pokemon or energy or anything like that really. It's quite useful to bring stuff back into the deck. Then you play 4 double colours. Now normal energy you can play as many as you want in the deck, but with special energy you can only play a maximum of 4, likewise with any Pokemon. These are obviously key in the deck, one of the most important things in this deck, as you use them for the Mega Mewtwo, you use them for the Zoroark, you even use them on the Shaman if you want to use its attack. They're key in the deck, so you play 4 of those, and then you play 5 Psychic Energy. Now once again this is up to personal preference, you can play more, you can play less, it's all up to how you feel with the deck. Some people won't agree with this list, some people will, it's all up to personal preference. But this deck plays 5 Psychic Energy. Now this is kind of for if you want to use damage change, if you're not getting the Mega Mewtwo, or just to power it up to do more damage really, because you mainly rely on your opponent to stack their Pokemon. So you don't need to put too much energy on yours, but if you have to, then it's there to do so. And this isn't in the deck, but you can put in a Jirachi for its Stardust ability effect. Now it's not got much HP, but its attack only does 10 damage, but it's got a really good effect whereas 1 energy, you discard a special energy attached to your opponent's active Pokemon, and if you do, all effects of attacks, including damage done to this Pokemon, is gone for the next turn, which is really good, as if they rely on special energy, like this deck for example, they can't do anything, they're stuck. So if this was up against this deck, it'd do quite a lot of damage. But obviously you could get around it with the Psychic Energies, but in some decks that's not an option. You play just special energy, like for example Vileplume Toolbox it does Rainbow Energy, double colourlesses, so this would give that a really hard time and really kind of give you time to get up in a good position. And that's everything in the deck. Thank you for watching.